So as I'm coming up to just the last day before leaving SBRC, I'm feeling quite excited because what we have built together with many partners is now going on to the next iteration. So it doesn't feel as if a door is coming down and that's the end of that. It feels that actually the legacy from SBRC is going on. And when I look at where SBRC is now compared to when I first came in 9 years ago, you know, it's a completely different place. So it's actually a really positive thing. I think when I first started, it was the time of the restructuring of the police force, the fire service, and some structuring within Scottish Government as well. And I think one of our biggest steps forward has become really embedded within Police Scotland in the way that we have. And that model has really been envied by other cities and other countries. And to have that level of trust with an organisation is a hugely humbling thing for me, and I'm very keen to see that now continued, and I think that's been a really positive step. I think everything has moved up a gear, it's felt, so the team's been fantastic, seeing the team go on to other jobs elsewhere with fantastic experience and great CVs, and that extends through to the hackers who have all gone on to marvellous jobs, many of them international. But I think it's seeing SBRC become more and more of that nexus, so actually really helping the business community and business of all sizes. That's been really important. And of course the models that we've created, I think particularly on the cyber side, that are now going forward as well. I've had some fantastic memories, really probably far too many to go into. I've had times when I've absolutely had my head in my hands, sometimes with things that were happening. Some of my worst nightmare but funniest moments have been when the hackers have presented and perhaps shown something inappropriate. And there's one which I just can never talk about out loud, but where they actually showed something that just should never have been seen in that environment. But actually the fun that I've had, and I guess the engagement that we've had, being out and about with the community, with the business community, seeing other people speaking. So for me, it's always a great privilege to see other members of the team actually speaking, presenting, and going on, as I say, to other roles. So I think some of the most fantastic memories have really been around the individuals that we've worked with and seeing them come through. And I think that will be my fondest memories. So the challenges coming, I think, for resilience are manyfold, and one of the things that I've been looking at very closely is what business of the future is going to look like, and I'm not convinced that we're ready for that. So that's one of the themes that I've been working with on policing in other areas of the UK. So actually business of the future will communicate in a very, very different way. We're about to be faced with the generation that people sometimes call millennials, but actually that's a bit dismissive, I think. The skills that are around young business are going to be extraordinary. It's the first set of generations who have learnt and grown up online and will trade probably entirely online. Not just that, but it will be the first generation who will self-select their news feeds. Now, that presents us all with huge challenge. For example, if they don't select your news feed, if they don't take your client feed, you're sunk. So we all need to learn to communicate in a very, very different way. It will be about the number of characters we're using. It will be about communication channels. Already we're seeing memes coming into business communications, much, much more. It'll be new platforms. It's 24 hours a day. A lot of them will have several businesses running at once. So actually all the traditional communication is almost blown out of the water, and we really need to think about that. And that relates to every aspect of business resilience, because they will not be picking up traditional paper-based, even email-based. A lot of them are now not even using email. So being ready for that and helping business to support that, I see as being a very significant challenge. So when we look ahead at BRIM, the Business Resilience International Management, even the name is very closely aligned with SBRC, and that's been a very deliberate move, having talked at great length with the board and with partners. So what was happening was more and more people were asking for my time, and indeed that of some of the team, to go and help them in those other cities, other countries, to help them to establish that model. So actually it became a kind of tug of war of time. But now it is that time to say, well, now I can go and do that. I'll continue to work very closely with team members at SBRC. Those models will now be taken elsewhere to set up again parallel organisations. And again, it's very much around working with policing, working with governments, looking at different levels of engagement, which have been seen to be so successful in Scotland. So SBRC is a very sound organisation. Here we are embedded now within Oracle. It's the first partner nexus we've really had, not just with Police Scotland, but Scotland IS, with business now hot desking. I think SBRC is in a really unique position, and I leave it in hugely capable hands. I mean, I have a board which is just marvellous. The board are outstanding in terms of their skills. So the board and the team itself, now the co-heading with Lindsay Tulloch on the policy board side, who's done such a great job with that, and Eamon Keane, who resigned from Police Scotland to come in and head the cyber side. The team attracts higher and higher applicants every time there's a role. And I think more and more people should be offering secondments to the centre and saying, actually, you know, you get quite unique experience if you come into the centre. And I would like to see much more of that. But the team here has grown so substantially. When I look at the skills that are now here, you know, this is a very good example where, you know, Sean's taken forward the digital marketing so quickly, Fiona heading all of the wider marketing and comms in a way which has now become a real envy elsewhere. So whether it's fire and fire assessments, physical assessments, the recent developments on the safety pack to be used for all security crews, counter-terrorism advice, retail strategy and security. So all of these things I think are really unique, and I leave SBRC in really good hands, and I love watching it continue to flourish.